What's up everybody, Prepared Guy here once again, and today we're taking a look at the Wuben G2. Upon unboxing, you'll find a C-type charging cable, the light itself, a pocket clip, and instructions. The G2 is powered by an internal non-removable 280 mAh rechargeable lithium polymer battery. The G2 is made of aluminum alloy and plastic. It's not waterproof, but it's okay if you get it slightly wet. There's also a 1.5 meter impact rating, and it weighs just under 30 grams or just over 1 ounce with the clip attached. I'll leave the tech specs from the manual on the screen now just in case I leave out any details, so pause the video here to see those details. During my runtime test in the 500 lumen turbo mode, the G2 ran for 1 minute whilst gradually ramping down to the 200 lumen high mode for an additional 38 minutes, for a total runtime of 39 minutes, which was not the 500 lumens at 30 minutes quoted in the manual, but I believe this was a miscommunication rather than a deception by the company, as it did accurately run within 1 minute of the 200 lumen runtime quoted in the manual. During my thermal test in the 500 lumen turbo mode, the G2 reached a max thermal output of 114 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees Celsius after about 35 minutes of use. And during my recharge time test, the G2 took 1 hour and 9 minutes to fully recharge from completely depleted using my Anchor charger. Now let's take a quick tour of the modes and general operation of the Wuben G2. Alright guys, now I'm going to give you a brief tour of the Wuben G2. Now as you can see, it's got a nice smooth surface on the outside here. Very smooth. Got your aluminum alloy, you got the plastic mixture in there. It has a little keychain in the back. You can see that spins. If you twist the back off like so, it reveals the magnet. The magnet can be used to go do its magnet thing. Okay, that's very simple. And then you can turn the light off as well by pushing the button. Very cool. Now you can put this back on like so. Sometimes it's finicky if you don't put it on just right. It's kind of one of those things where you have to like make sure that you align it with this just in the center, and then you got to twist it. It doesn't always line up perfectly, and then you have to kind of mess with it a little bit, and then finally it will go right back into place. I've seen this done a couple times on other lights. This is middle of the road. I mean, they didn't do a great job. They didn't do a bad job. It is what it is. You have your clip on the back here. Pop it off, very simple. Just go like that, and it pops right off. And then if you want to put it back on, just push it back in there and make sure it's lined up just right. You'll have your little button for power, obviously, power button. It's flush, so you can see it's like there's nothing really sticking out. It's plastic. It feels weird when you push it, but it does the job. So then you have your C-type charging port here, and I'll be honest with you, like I'm not feeling this little flap there. It just feels like very cheap. It feels like it's gonna fall off. You can't get this wet. You can't really submerge it other than like maybe a brief sprinkling or misting of water. Say it's raining and you're going into your house from your car or something like that. That's the only time that can really get wet. If you get this wet, otherwise, if you submerge it, it's probably going to mess up the light because it's not really waterproof. Okay, so let's go into the modes. 1 lumen, 70 hours for the runtime. Hold down again. 15 lumen low mode, 6 hour runtime. Hold down again. 65 lumen medium mode with a 1 hour and 30 minute runtime. Hold it down again. 200 lumens, 35 minute runtime, and then you double click 500 lumen turbo mode with a runtime of 30 minutes in the manual, but it's actually 1 minute, and then it drops down to 200 lumens after that 1 minute. So it's technically not being 100% honest. It should just say 1 minute and then drop down. It doesn't say that in the manual, but it's supposed to. Double click anytime, right into turbo, turn it back off, hold it down. There's the 1 lumen. There you go. And you cycle through. And it'll cycle through all the way up to the high mode. And then if you wanted to go in turbo, double click, that's when it will go into turbo. Very simple operation. Now let's check it out and see what it does when in a dark room. All right, guys, now we're in a dark room. I'm going to throw this in the 1 lumen mode. We're about 10 feet away from the wall in front of us. You guys can kind of see that. Now I'm going to throw this into the 15 lumen mode. There's the 15 lumen mode, 10 feet away from that wall. Now I'm going to jump up to the 65 lumen mode. And the 65 lumen mode looks like this. Then I'm going to jump up to 200 lumens, and then I'm going to double tap. And now we're in the 500 lumen turbo mode, guys. Look how bright this is. This is a pretty decent sized room for the most part. And throw it right there on the table. You guys can basically see everything that's over here, and it's nice and bright. If I actually put this behind the camera, let's try this. If I put it behind the camera here, I have it facing me, I'm gonna be washed out. That's like, look how bright this is. That's pretty bright for this tiny little keychain flashlight. So very cool, very nice light, guys. If you're thinking of getting one, I definitely suggest getting one. It has a memory mode. So this is the 200 lumen mode. Press it once, turn it off. Press it again, hold it down, it will turn back on. So that's what this looks like, guys. Very, very cool. Double tap for that turbo, boom, turbo. This turbo mode, man, it lights up the entire freaking room. You guys are gonna love this. The G2 has a max beam distance of 46 meters or 151 feet in the 500 lumen turbo mode, and it has a max candela of 540 CD. It also utilizes an OSRAM P9 LED that emits somewhere in the 6000K spectrum as far as I can tell. My pros and cons are as follows. First, the pros. It's small, tough, bright, and versatile. I love the fact that you can charge it whilst using it. You can also use it as a backpack light for long-term use using a USB-C type charging cable ran from a battery bank from your backpack, and then have the light mounted on your chest rig or whatever you have. And I also love the fact that it has a magnet. Magnets are great on flashlights. They're always useful. Now for my cons. The battery life is short on its own. The run times in the usable light modes were short-lived. The longest run time is the 1 lumen moonlight mode, which allegedly runs for 70 hours, but I didn't test that because
ain't nobody got time for that.
The Wuben G2 retails for about $23 on the Wuben website with a 1-year free from defects warranty, so it's an overall great option for a versatile flat body keychain light in my opinion. I'll leave the link down in the description below so that you can pick one of these up. I hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Prepared Guy, and until next time, guys, stay prepared.